My daughter's hand is sticky with grape juice as she tugs at my sleeve. The shopping cart rattles under my grip, half filled with generic brands and day-old bread marked down to a price I can actually afford. Tuesday nights at this 24-hour supermarket mean fewer crowds, which means I can breathe without someone judging the contents of my cart or the stains on my uniform. "Mommy, I need the bathroom." Lily's voice carries that particular urgency that means we have maybe 3 minutes before disaster strikes. I glance at my phone. 12:47 a.m. My shift at the restaurant ended 40 minutes ago. And before that, I spent 8 hours at the medical clinic answering phones and filing insurance claims. My lower back throbs with the particular ache that comes from standing too long on cheap shoes. But Lily needs the bathroom, and everything else can wait. "Okay, baby, let's go." I abandon the cart near the produce section and scoop her up. Even though at 4 years old she insists she's too big to be carried. Tonight, she doesn't protest. She's as exhausted as I am, her head dropping against my shoulder as I navigate through the aisles toward the restrooms at the back of the store. The medical debt letters are stuffed in my purse, unopened from today's mail. $147,000. The number haunts me in quiet moments, growing larger in my mind until it becomes this monstrous thing I'll never escape. Lily's leukemia treatment saved her life, and I'd make the same choice 1,000 times over, but the financial aftermath is slowly drowning us both. 8 months in remission. 8 months of holding my breath every time she coughs, every time she looks pale, every time we go for her checkups. The doctors say the prognosis is excellent. I try to believe them. I wait outside the bathroom stall, listening to Lily hum a song she learned at the subsidized daycare. She's resilient in ways that break my heart. She doesn't remember much about her father, which is probably a blessing. Ryan disappeared the week after her diagnosis, couldn't handle the reality of a sick child. The divorce was fast, brutal. The restraining order I got 6 months ago after he showed up drunk, demanding to see her, felt like closing a door on the worst chapter of my life. He hasn't violated it. Yet. 6 months of silence. I should feel relief. But instead I feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. "All done." Lily emerges, and I help her wash her hands, making a game of the soap bubbles to coax a smile from her tired face. Her hair, the same light brown as mine, curls around her face in a way that makes her look angelic. People always comment on her eyes. Green like mine, but brighter, more alive. We make our way back through the store, and I'm mentally calculating whether I can afford the chicken breasts that are on sale when I realize the cart isn't where I left it. Panic flares before I spot it near the wine section, and Lily breaks free from my hand. "Lily, wait." But she's already darting ahead, and my heart lurches because this is how children get lost, get hurt, get taken. I hurry after her, my worn sneakers squeaking on the linoleum, and then I see what stopped her. A man stands in front of the imported wine section, tall and dressed entirely wrong for a midnight grocery run. His suit is dark, perfectly tailored, the kind of clothing that speaks of money in a quiet, assured way. Dark hair styled back from his face. Strong jawline, olive skin. He's examining a bottle of red wine with the concentration of someone who actually understands what he's looking at. And Lily walks right up to him. "Excuse me, mister." Her small voice carries in the quiet aisle, and I'm running now, my exhaustion forgotten in the surge of protective panic. The man looks down, and I catch the moment of surprise that crosses his face. He's younger than I initially thought, mid-30s maybe, with dark eyes that seem almost black under the harsh supermarket lighting. "Can you be my new daddy?" Lily asks with the devastating directness only a 4-year-old possesses. My old daddy was mean and he went away. And I reach them just as the man crouches down, bringing himself to Lily's eye level. The movement is careful, non-threatening, and something about the way he folds his tall frame makes him seem less intimidating. "I'm so sorry," I gasp, reaching for Lily's hand. She doesn't understand. "Lily, we don't talk to strangers, remember?" "But he has kind eyes," Lily protests, "and I want the floor to open and swallow me whole." The man looks up at me, and I'm struck by the intensity of his gaze. Not aggressive, but assessing, like he's reading a book I didn't know was open. "It's all right," he says, his voice low and smooth with just a trace of an accent I can't quite place. Italian, maybe. He turns back to Lily. "What's your name, little one?" Lily Marie Collins. I'm 4 3/4. My mommy says I'm very brave because I had cancer, but I beat it. She says it with pride, like it's an accomplishment she earned through effort rather than luck and 8 months of brutal treatment. Something flickers across the man's face, too quick for me to read. He straightens, and suddenly I'm very aware of how I must look. My waitress uniform is stained from tonight's shift, my hair escaping from its ponytail in limp strands, dark circles under my eyes that no amount of concealer can hide. Our shopping cart holds store-brand cereal and dented cans from the discount rack. I'm Alexander Pellegrini, he says, extending his hand to me. His grip is warm, firm, but not crushing. And I catch the scent of expensive cologne, something woody and refined. Megan Collins. I really am sorry about... I gesture helplessly at Lily, who is now examining Alexander's watch with obvious fascination. Your daughter is charming and brave, as she said. He looks at Lily again. Cancer is a terrible fight. How long has she been in remission? The fact that he knows the terminology, that he asks with genuine interest rather than pity, catches me off guard. 8 months. The doctors are optimistic. That's good. He pauses, then adds, my late wife battled cancer. I understand how difficult it can be. The admission hangs in the air between us. And suddenly this stranger feels less strange. There's a recognition in his eyes, the kind that only comes from living through something terrible. I'm sorry for your loss, I say quietly, and mean it. Lily tugs on my hand. Mommy, I'm hungry. I know, baby. We'll eat when we get home. I glance at the cart, at our meager collection of necessities. Grocery shopping has become an exercise in careful mathematics, each item weighed against the bills that need paying. Alexander follows my gaze, and I see him take in the details. The generic brands, the clearance stickers, the absence of anything that isn't absolutely essential. I want to explain that we're not always like this, that I have 2 jobs, that I'm trying, but the words stick in my throat. Please, allow me to pay for your groceries, Alexander says, and there's no pity in his voice, just a simple offer. No, the word comes out sharper than I intend. Thank you, but no. I can handle my own expenses. I'm sure you can. Consider it a thank you for your daughter's kind offer. A slight smile touches his lips. It's not every day someone asks me to be their father. Despite everything, I feel a laugh bubble up. She's very direct. A good quality. He looks at me seriously now. I grew up with very little. I understand pride. But I also understand that sometimes accepting help isn't weakness. It's wisdom. I don't even know you. Then consider it a loan. Write down the amount. Pay me back when you can. The offer is absurd. Why would this clearly wealthy stranger offer to help us? But Lily is yawning, and the number in my bank account is terrifyingly low, and the thought of not having to choose between groceries and the electric bill this month makes my eyes burn with unexpected tears. Why would you do this? I ask, hating how my voice wavers. Alexander's expression softens. Because your daughter reminds me that kindness still exists in the world. Because I can. Because saying yes doesn't obligate you to anything beyond eventually repaying a debt. He pulls out his wallet, retrieves a business card. My number, in case you need to reach me about repayment. I take the card, my fingers trembling slightly. The paper is heavy, expensive. Just a name and phone number. No business listed. I'll write down everything we buy, I say finally, and I'll pay you back. Every cent. I have no doubt. He gestures toward the wine section. Finish your shopping. I'll meet you at the register. I want to protest more, but Lily is drooping against my leg, and the practical part of my brain is already calculating what else we need, now that money isn't the immediate obstacle. I add actual fresh vegetables to the cart, a whole chicken instead of just the marked-down thighs, milk that isn't about to expire. At the register, Alexander is already there, waiting. The cashier, a young guy I've seen here before, stiffens when he sees Alexander. Mr. Pellegrini? I didn't know you shopped here. Occasionally, Alexander replies smoothly. He nods at my cart. Add her items to my bill. The cashier rings everything up with nervous efficiency. The total is $83.42. I write it down in my phone with shaking hands, along with Alexander's number from the card. "Thank you," I say, as we head toward the exit, meaning it more than I've meant anything in a long time. "You're welcome." He carries the heavier bags to my car, an ancient Honda with a failing transmission that I pray holds out another 6 months. As I'm buckling Lily into her car seat, 2 men appear from the shadows near the store entrance. They're dressed in dark suits, moving with a purposeful grace that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. They flank Alexander without a word, and he nods to them like this is completely normal. One of the men opens the door of a black SUV parked 3 spots down. Not just any SUV, but the kind with tinted windows and a price tag that probably equals 3 years of my salary. Alexander catches me watching. "Good night, Megan. Drive safely." I watch them drive away, processing what I've just witnessed. The nervous cashier, the bodyguards, the expensive everything. Alexander Pellegrini isn't just wealthy. He's something else entirely, something that exists in a world I don't understand. Lily is already asleep in her car seat by the time I pull out of the parking lot. The bags of groceries in the back seat feel heavier than they should, weighted with the debt I've just incurred to a stranger who might be dangerous. But when I glance at my daughter in the rearview mirror, at her peaceful sleeping face, I can't bring myself to regret it. We have food for the week. The bills will get paid. Tomorrow I'll worry about who Alexander Pellegrini really is, and what accepting his help might mean. Tonight, I drive home through the empty streets, and for the first time in months, the weight on my shoulders feels just a little bit lighter. Lily's laughter echoes through our tiny apartment as Mrs. Morrison teaches her a clapping game. I'm standing at the kitchen counter, dividing tips from today's lunch shift at the restaurant into piles. Rent, utilities, groceries, medical debt. The bills spread before me like an accusation. 5 days since the supermarket. 5 days since Alexander Pellegrini paid for our groceries and left me with his card and a debt I'm determined to repay. I've looked at that card a dozen times, the heavy paper stock with just a name and number, wondering who he really is and why he helped us. "Megan, dear, I should head home." Mrs. Morrison stands, smoothing her cardigan. She's 73, lives in the apartment next door, and has been watching Lily during my evening shifts for the past year. I pay her what I can, which isn't much, but she insists the company is worth more than money. "Thank you so much." I hand her $40, knowing it's not enough for 4 hours of childcare, but it's what I can manage this week. She waves it away initially, as she always does, before tucking it into her pocket. That sweet girl is never any trouble. "You working the late shift tonight?" "Yeah, 6 to midnight. I'll pick her up around 12:30 if that's okay." "Of course. Come along, Lilybug. We'll have dinner and watch that movie about the princess again." Lily bounces over to hug me. "Be good at work, Mommy." "Always am, baby." I kiss the top of her head, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. She's wearing her favorite purple dress, the one that's getting too short, but she refuses to give up. I have 90 minutes before my shift at the restaurant, just enough time to shower, change, maybe close my eyes for 20 minutes. My morning job at the medical clinic means 8 hours of answering phones, filing insurance paperwork, and trying not to think about my own medical debt while processing everyone else's. Then I rush to pick up Lily from daycare, bring her home, and hand her off to Mrs. Morrison before heading to my evening shift. The shower is lukewarm, the water heater struggling. I stand under the weak spray and let myself imagine, just for a moment, what it would be like to have only one job, to be home for dinner every night, to not calculate every dollar against survival. Friday night at the restaurant is chaotic. We're understaffed because Jessica called in sick, which means I'm covering twice the normal section. My manager is stressed, customers are impatient, and I've been sworn at twice before 9 o'clock. By the time my shift ends at midnight, my lower back is screaming, and I've got marinara sauce on my sleeve that won't come out. I collect my tips, $47 in crumpled bills and loose change, and drive to Mrs. Morrison's building. The hallways smell like old carpet and someone's cooking. A familiar scent that usually feels like coming home. But tonight, when I knock on her door, she opens it with worry creasing her face. "Megan, there was a man at your door about an hour ago." Tall brown hair seemed agitated. "He knocked for several minutes, called your name." I didn't answer when he tried my door, but I watched through the peephole until he left. Ice slides down my spine. What did he look like? 30s maybe, wearing jeans and a jacket. He smelled like alcohol even through the door. Ryan. The restraining order requires him to stay at least 500 feet away. 6 months of silence, and now he's here, at my home, drunk and looking for me. Did he say anything? Just your name, and Lily's. Demanding to see his daughter. Mrs. Morrison's hand shakes as she touches my arm. Should I call the police? I'll handle it. Thank you for keeping Lily safe. I gather my sleeping daughter, her head heavy on my shoulder, and carry her down the hallway to our apartment. The door is intact. No signs of forced entry. I unlock it carefully, stepping inside and immediately locking it behind us. Lily barely stirs as I lay her in her bed, pulling her blanket up to her chin. In sleep, she looks peaceful, unaware of the danger that was pounding on our door an hour ago. I'm checking the window locks when the knocking starts. Heavy. Insistent. Demanding. Megan! I know you're in there. Ryan's voice is slurred but loud. Open the door. My heart hammers against my ribs. I grab my phone, finger hovering over 911. But I've been down this road before. Police will come, file a report, maybe arrest him if he's drunk enough. He'll be out by morning with a court date months away. The restraining order hasn't stopped him. Nothing has stopped him. I have rights. Ryan's fist pounds harder. She's my daughter, too. You can't keep her from me. Lily's door opens. She stands there in her purple dress, eyes wide and terrified. Mommy? Get in the bathroom, baby. Lock the door. Is that Daddy? The word makes my stomach turn. He doesn't deserve that title. Didn't earn it when he abandoned her during chemo. Didn't earn it during the divorce. Certainly hasn't earned it by showing up drunk and violent at our door. Bathroom. Now. My voice is sharper than I intend, and Lily's lip trembles, but she obeys. I know about your new sugar daddy. Ryan's laugh is ugly. Yeah, I've been watching. Saw you at the store. You think you're better than me now? Got some rich guy paying your bills? How does he know about Alexander? Has he been following me? Those medical bills are your fault, Megan. You just had to keep pumping her full of poison, running up debt we couldn't afford. For what? So she could live a few more years? Rage floods through me, hot and consuming. How dare he? How dare he reduce Lily's life to a financial calculation? I'm not leaving until you open this door. Something slams against the wood, and I jump. I'll kick it down if I have to. My hands are shaking as I scroll through my phone. I should call 911. That's the logical choice. But Ryan's right about one thing. I do have someone else's number now. Someone who in 5 minutes at a grocery store showed more genuine concern than Ryan ever did in our entire marriage. I press call on Alexander Pellegrini's number, not knowing if he'll even answer, if he gave me a real number, or just wanted to seem charitable before disappearing from my life. He answers on the first ring. Megan. The sound of his voice, calm and alert despite the late hour, nearly breaks me. I'm sorry to call. I didn't know who else. My ex-husband is outside my apartment. He's drunk, violating his restraining order, threatening to break down the door. My daughter is terrified, and address. Now. I rattle it off, my voice steadier than I feel. Lock every door and window. Move away from the entrance. I'm sending people now. Do you understand? Yes. Stay on the line with me. Ryan is still pounding, his threats becoming more incoherent. I move to the bathroom where Lily is huddled in the tub, knees pulled to her chest. I sit on the floor beside her, phone pressed to my ear. He's still there, I tell Alexander. Help is 3 minutes away. Is your daughter safe? She's with me, scared but unharmed. Good. Keep talking to me. Tell me about him, your ex-husband. Maybe it's the fear. Maybe it's exhaustion. But I find myself telling this near stranger everything. How Ryan was charming at first, controlling later. How he isolated me from friends, criticized every choice, made me doubt my own judgment. How he walked out the day after Lily's diagnosis, couldn't handle having a sick child. The divorce that followed, his attempts to avoid child support, the restraining order after he tried to take Lily from daycare without permission. He hasn't contacted us in 6 months. I finish. Until tonight. 6 months is a long time for someone like him to stay quiet. Something triggered this. The pounding stops suddenly. Through the bathroom door, I hear voices. Low and controlled. Not Ryan's voice. Someone's here. I whisper. My associates. Stay where you are until they tell you it's safe. 2 minutes of silence that feel like hours. Then a knock. Gentle and controlled. Completely different from Ryan's assault on the door. Miss Collins? Mr. Pellegrini sent us. Your ex-husband has left the premises. We'd like to speak with you. I emerge from the bathroom, leaving Lily inside with instructions to stay put. Through the peephole, I see 2 men in dark suits, both large and professional-looking. Not threatening, but certainly capable of handling threats. I open the door a crack, chain still engaged. I'm Victor, this is James. May we come in? Mr. Pellegrini is on his way, and would like us to secure the apartment first. Alexander is coming here. At nearly 1 a.m. For me, I let them in. They move through my tiny apartment with efficient precision, checking the windows, examining the door frame Ryan was beating on, taking photos of scuff marks his shoes left on the wood. Your ex-husband has been convinced to leave the area, Victor says, his tone making it clear exactly how convincing they were. He understands that returning would be inadvisable. Is he hurt? No, ma'am. We simply explained the situation in terms he could understand. Lily peers around the bathroom door. Mommy? It's okay, baby. Come here. She runs to me, and I lift her up despite my aching back, holding her close while she buries her face in my neck. The little one? James asks quietly. My daughter, Lily. Both men's expressions soften imperceptibly. She's safe now. We'll make sure of it. 20 minutes later, another knock. This time when I open the door, Alexander Pellegrini stands there, looking far too composed for 1 a.m. His suit is different from the grocery store, charcoal gray instead of black, but just as expensive. His dark eyes scan me quickly, cataloging injuries I don't have, then move to Lily in my arms. May I come in? I step aside, suddenly aware of how small and shabby my apartment must look to him. The secondhand furniture, the peeling paint, the stack of medical bills on the counter I forgot to hide. Alexander doesn't seem to notice or care. He nods to Victor and James, who quietly leave, and then turns his full attention to me. Are you hurt? No. Scared but not hurt. Your daughter? Shaken up but okay. Lily has fallen asleep against my shoulder, exhausted by fear. Alexander gestures to the couch. Sit, please. We need to talk. I lower myself onto the cushions, cradling Lily. Alexander takes the chair across from us, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. Tell me everything about your ex-husband. Don't leave anything out. So I do. The full history of Ryan Turner, from our college romance to our toxic marriage to his abandonment and the legal battles that followed. Alexander listens without interrupting, his expression growing harder with each detail. The restraining order, he says when I finish. How many times has he violated it before tonight? This is the first time in 6 months. Before that, there were 3 incidents. Police were called twice. He was warned, but never arrested. And the police have been helpful? I laugh, bitter and tired. They take reports. That's about it. Alexander is quiet for a long moment, thinking. When he speaks again, his voice is careful, deliberate. I can help you. Really help you. But you need to understand what that means. I'm listening. I own a restaurant in the city, Bellissimo. High-end Italian cuisine, corporate events, private parties. I need someone to manage those events, coordinate with clients, handle logistics. It's a real job with real responsibilities, not charity disguised as employment. What's the salary? $4,200 a month plus benefits including health insurance. The number hits me like a physical thing. That's more than I make at both my current jobs combined, with health insurance, with benefits. Why would you offer me this? Because you need help, and I can provide it. Because your daughter deserves a mother who isn't working herself to death. Because I've been where you are, desperate and out of options. And someone helped me once. He pauses. And because men like your ex-husband don't stop on their own. They need to be stopped. I can do that. How? By making it clear that you're under my protection. That touching you or your daughter means answering to me and my organization. By providing security that actually works, not just restraining orders that are ignored. There's something in the way he says my organization that makes me understand this goes deeper than restaurant ownership. But right now, with Lily sleeping in my arms and scuff marks on my door from Ryan's assault, I don't care about the details. What do I have to do? Come to the restaurant Monday for a formal interview. Bring your resume, references if you have them. I'll introduce you to my brother Franco, who manages daily operations. If everything goes well, you can start within 2 weeks. Just like that. Just like that. He stands, pulling a card from his pocket. Different from the first one, this has an address printed below his name. My restaurant, 10 a.m., Monday. Can you make it? I'll be there. Good. He moves toward the door, then pauses. I'm leaving Victor outside tonight. He'll be in his car, watching the building. If your ex returns, he'll handle it. Tomorrow we'll discuss longer-term security arrangements. Thank you, I whisper, meaning it more than I've meant anything. Alexander's expression softens slightly. Sleep well, Megan. Both of you. After he leaves, I carry Lily to her bed, tucking her in carefully. Through the window, I can see a black sedan parked across the street, a figure silhouetted in the driver's seat. I should feel trapped, obligated, worried about what accepting Alexander Pellegrini's help really means, but instead, for the first time since Ryan's fists hit my door, I feel safe. The weekend passes in a blur of overthinking. Victor's black sedan remains parked outside until Sunday evening, a constant reminder that my life has changed in ways I'm still trying to understand. Saturday morning, I give notice at both my jobs. My manager at the medical clinic seems relieved, one less person to schedule. The restaurant manager is less understanding, but I've already made up my mind. Sunday afternoon, I visit Mrs. Morrison with a box of her favorite tea and an envelope containing $200, more than I've ever been able to give her at once. You don't have to do this, she protests, though her hands shake slightly as she accepts it. You've been watching Lily for a year, taking whatever I could pay without complaint. This is long overdue. I hug her, breathing in the scent of lavender and old books that always clings to her cardigan. I got a new job. Better hours, better pay. I won't need evening childcare anymore. Her eyes well up. That sweet girl. I'll miss our evenings together. You can visit any time. Your family, Mrs. Morrison. Monday morning arrives too quickly. I've dressed carefully in the only professional outfit I own, black slacks and a cream blouse I found at a thrift store 2 years ago. Lily is at her current daycare, the subsidized one with peeling paint and too many children per teacher. If this job works out, I can afford better. Bellissimo occupies a corner building in a neighborhood I usually avoid because everything costs too much. The exterior is elegant without being ostentatious. Dark wood and brass fixtures, large windows revealing glimpses of the interior. I stand outside for a full minute, convincing myself to walk through those doors. A valet opens the door before I can reach for the handle. Welcome to Bellissimo. Do you have a reservation? I'm here for an interview with Mr. Pellegrini. His demeanor shifts instantly, becoming more attentive. Of course. Please follow me. The interior takes my breath away. High ceilings, exposed brick walls, tables set with white linens and fresh flowers. Everything about the space speaks of careful attention to detail, from the art on the walls to the soft lighting that makes the room glow warmly. It's elegant without being cold, expensive without being pretentious. A man emerges from the back, tall and broad-shouldered like Alexander, but with lighter coloring and an easier smile. He's maybe a year or two younger, dressed in slacks and a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up. You must be Megan. I'm Franco Pellegrini, Alexander's brother. His handshake is firm but friendly. Come on back. My wife Lauren handles our books and she wanted to meet you too. I follow him through the dining room to a spacious office that overlooks a small courtyard garden. A woman in her early 30s sits at a desk covered in spreadsheets, her dark hair pulled back in a practical bun. She stands when we enter, offering a warm smile. Megan. Hi. I'm Lauren. Sorry about the mess. Month-end accounting always looks like a paper explosion. She gestures to a seating area away from the desk. Let's talk somewhere more comfortable. For the next hour, Franco and Lauren walk me through what the job would actually entail. Coordinating corporate events, managing private dining reservations, working with clients to plan menus and logistics, overseeing the setup and execution of special occasions. They show me the event calendar, already booked 3 months out with corporate functions and weddings. Our previous coordinator left to start her own business, Lauren explains. We've been managing it ourselves, but Franco's focus needs to be on the kitchen, and I'm drowning in financial reports. We need someone organized, creative, and capable of handling high-maintenance clients. Do you have event planning experience? Franco asks, not unkindly. Not professionally, but I've been managing 2 jobs, a 4-year-old daughter, medical appointments, and bill collectors for the past year. I'm very good at organization and problem-solving under pressure. Lauren laughs. That's actually better experience than most candidates we've interviewed. This job is 90% crisis management and 10% making things look effortless. Alexander appears in the doorway, and my pulse kicks up despite my best efforts. He's wearing charcoal slacks and a white dress shirt, no jacket, looking more relaxed than I've seen him. How's the interview going? She's perfect, Lauren says immediately. When can you start? I glance at Alexander, trying to read his expression. He's watching me with that same intense focus from the grocery store, like I'm a puzzle he's trying to solve. I gave notice at my other jobs. I can start in 2 weeks. Make it 1 week, Franco suggests. We have a corporate event next Friday that's going to be chaos. You can shadow us, see how everything works. 1 week works, I agree, my heart hammering. Alexander nods once. Lauren will handle the paperwork. Salary is $4,200 per month, full benefits including health insurance, standard employee package. The salary confirms what he told me Friday night. This is real. A legitimate job with a legitimate salary that could actually change my life. After signing more paperwork than I've seen outside of medical offices, Lauren walks me back through the restaurant. We're glad you're joining us. Alexander doesn't bring people into the fold lightly, so if he vouched for you, that means something. Into the fold? She pauses, choosing her words carefully. This family, this business, it matters to us. We take care of our own. You'll see what I mean. My last week at both jobs passes quickly. Thursday evening, as I'm leaving the restaurant where I've waited tables for 2 years, Ryan appears in the parking lot. He's leaning against my car, arms crossed, looking more sober than Friday night, but no less threatening. Nice seeing you, Megan. Ice floods my veins. You're violating your restraining order. Again. Am I? This is a public parking lot. I'm just standing here. His smile is cruel. Heard you got yourself a fancy new job. Moving up in the world. Must be nice having a sugar daddy to pay your bills. Leave me alone, Ryan. She's my daughter, too. I have rights. You have no rights. You abandoned her when she was sick. You lost custody. The restraining order is clear. Things change. I've got a lawyer now. Good one, too. We're going to revisit that custody arrangement. He pushes off my car, taking a step closer. You can't keep her from me forever. My hand is on my phone. Alexander's number already pulled up. Ryan notices. Go ahead. Call your boyfriend. But I'm not doing anything illegal. Just talking to my ex-wife in a public place. He walks away, getting into a car I don't recognize, and drives off. I call Alexander anyway. He answers immediately, like he's been waiting. Ryan was here, in the parking lot where I work. He says he's getting a lawyer, challenging the custody agreement. Where are you now? Still in the parking lot. Drive to your apartment. Don't stop anywhere. Text me when you're inside safely. His voice is calm, but I can hear the steel underneath. We'll talk about this tomorrow. That night, Victor's sedan is back outside my building. Friday morning, Alexander calls before I'm fully awake. I have a property available. 2-bedroom apartment, safe neighborhood, close to an excellent daycare. Rent is $800 a month deducted from your salary. Alexander, I can't. Your ex knows where you work, where you live. He's escalating. You need to move somewhere he doesn't know about. Somewhere with better security. He pauses. This isn't charity. It's pragmatism. The building has security cameras, a doorman, and is in a neighborhood where Ryan won't be comfortable showing up drunk. He's right, and I hate that he's right. Staying in my current apartment means waiting for Ryan to show up again, and next time I might not get warning. When can I see it? This afternoon. I'll text you the address. The apartment is in a neighborhood I've always considered out of my reach. Tree-lined streets, clean sidewalks, actual shops instead of just convenience stores. The building is well-maintained brick, with a doorman who nods respectfully as Alexander leads me inside. The apartment itself is simple but perfect. Hardwood floors, large windows letting in natural light, a kitchen with actual counter space, 2 bedrooms, one for me and one for Lily, a bathroom that isn't falling apart. It's not luxury, but compared to where we've been living, it feels like a palace. There's a daycare 3 blocks away, Alexander says, watching my face as I take it all in. Excellent reputation, and they have an opening. The owner is a friend. You can tour it today if you'd like. Is the daycare also $800 a month? It's included in your benefits package. Company covers childcare for employees with children under 6. I turn to face him directly. Why are you doing all this? Because I can. Because you need help and I have resources. Because your daughter deserves stability. His expression softens slightly. And because I know what it's like to feel trapped with no way out. Someone helped me once. This is me paying it forward. I'll pay you back. The groceries, the increased security, all of it. The groceries, yes. The security is non-negotiable and not something you owe me for. The apartment is standard rent, which you're already paying through salary deduction. He hands me a key. You can move in whenever you're ready. We tour the daycare together, Lily bouncing between us with excitement about the bright classrooms and the playground that doesn't have rust on the equipment. The director is a warm woman in her 50s who immediately kneels to Lily's level. And who is this beautiful girl? I'm Lily. I'm 4 3/4 and I beat cancer. The director's eyes meet mine with understanding. Then you're the bravest person I've met today. Would you like to see where the brave kids play? While Lily tours with one of the teachers, the director walks me through their programs. We have several children with medical histories. Our staff is trained in emergency protocols, and we maintain detailed health records. Your daughter will be in good hands. How did you know about her medical history? Mr. Pellegrini mentioned you'd be enrolling a child with special considerations. He wanted to make sure we could accommodate any needs. Of course he did. Alexander has thought of everything, arranged everything, before I even agreed to any of it. It should feel controlling, but instead it feels like someone finally seeing all the problems I've been juggling alone and actually doing something about them. My first week at Bellissimo is overwhelming in the best possible way. I shadow Franco and Lauren, learning the systems, meeting the kitchen staff, sitting in on client consultations. The work is demanding but fascinating, combining creativity with logistics in ways that engage every skill I've developed surviving the past 2 years. Alexander keeps his distance professionally, but I catch him watching me sometimes. When our eyes meet across the dining room during setup for a private event, there's an intensity there that makes my skin warm. I look away first, reminding myself that this needs to stay professional. I can't afford to confuse gratitude with attraction, can't afford to complicate the one good thing happening in my life. By the end of the first week, Lauren pulls me aside. You're doing great. Better than great, actually. Franco and I were worried Alexander was making a personal decision rather than a business one, but you've proven us wrong. You're exactly what we needed. Saturday, I move into the new apartment with help from Franco and Lauren. Their daughter Gianna comes along, a dark-haired 4-year-old with her mother's smile and her father's energy. She and Lily become instant friends, racing through the empty rooms and declaring which will be their play space. They'll be in the same class at daycare, Lauren mentions, watching the girls with obvious affection. Gianna's been begging for a friend her age. Lily needs friends too. She's been isolated with everything we've been dealing with. Lauren's hand touches my arm briefly. That's changing now. You're part of this family, which means Lily is too. We take care of our own. It's the second time someone has said that to me. I'm beginning to understand it's not just a saying. It's a promise. Monday morning, Lily starts at her new daycare. I watch through the window as she and Gianna hold hands, walking into the classroom together. My chest feels too full, too tight, with emotions I can't quite name. That afternoon, I have my first solo client meeting. A tech company wanting to host a product launch dinner for 80 people. I present 3 menu options, 2 room layouts, and a timeline that impresses even me with its attention to detail. They sign the contract before leaving. Alexander appears in my office doorway as I'm updating the calendar. Franco says you closed the Technova deal. They wanted something innovative but professional. I think we gave them both. You gave them both. He steps inside, closing the door behind him. How are you settling in? The apartment? The daycare? The job? It's good. Really good. Better than I could have hoped. I meet his eyes. Thank you. For all of it. You're welcome. He's quiet for a moment, and the air between us feels charged with something unspoken. I meant what I said. This is a real job, not charity. You've earned everything you have. I know, but I also know you went out of your way to help me. I won't forget that. Good. His gaze holds mine for a beat too long before he turns toward the door. Keep doing what you're doing. You're exceeding expectations. After he leaves, I sit at my desk, processing everything that's changed in 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, I was drowning. Working 2 jobs, terrified of my ex-husband, watching medical debt consume any chance at a better life. Now I have 1 good job, a safe home, and my daughter is thriving in an environment where she's not just surviving but actually happy. But I'm also acutely aware of the man who made it all possible, the way his presence changes the atmosphere of any room he enters, the carefully controlled power in every gesture, the intensity of his focus when he looks at me. I've accepted help from someone I barely know, someone whose world I don't understand. The rational part of my brain keeps whispering warnings about debt of a different kind, obligations that aren't written in any contract. But when I pick up Lily from daycare that evening, and she's laughing about something Gianna said, when we walk into our new apartment and she runs to her room to play with the toys Lauren bought as a housewarming gift, when I make dinner in a kitchen that actually has space to cook, I can't bring myself to regret any of it. That night, after Lily is asleep, I sit at my kitchen table with a calculator and the stack of medical bills I've been avoiding. With my new salary, I can finally do more than make minimum payments. I call the hospital billing department, negotiate through 3 different supervisors, and emerge with a settlement I almost can't believe. They'll reduce the total from $147,000 to $98,000 if I commit to paying $2,000 per month for the next 4 years. 4 years, 48 months. It's still a mountain of debt, but now it has a summit I can actually see. I accept the terms, set up automatic payments, and file the paperwork in a folder labeled Progress instead of Impossible. My phone buzzes with a text from Alexander. How was first day with Lily at new daycare? I hesitate before responding, then decide honesty is easier than pretense. Perfect. She and Gianna are already best friends. Thank you again for everything. You don't have to keep thanking me. Yes, I do. At least for a while longer. There's a long pause before his response comes through. Get some rest. Tomorrow's the Technova prep day. You'll need your energy. I smile despite myself. Professional boundaries. That's what we're maintaining. That's what's safe. But as I get ready for bed, I catch myself thinking about the way Alexander looked at me in my office. The unspoken something that hung in the air between us. It would be easy to let gratitude blur into something else. Easy. And incredibly stupid. I've built a new life in 3 weeks. A real job. A safe home. A future for my daughter. I'm not going to risk any of it by misreading kindness as something more. 6 weeks into my new life, and I still wake up sometimes wondering if it's real. The apartment with natural light streaming through clean windows. Lily thriving at a daycare where teachers know her name and actually care. A job that challenges me in ways I didn't know I needed. Tonight is the biggest event I've planned solo. A fundraising gala for childhood cancer research. 80 guests. Live auction. 3-course dinner. When I first proposed the theme to Alexander, I watched his face carefully, wondering if it would be too personal. Given what he'd told me about his late wife, he'd been silent for a long moment, standing in his office with late afternoon sun cutting across his desk. Then he'd simply said, "Do it. Whatever you need, whatever budget makes it exceptional." This matters. 2 days later, Franco handed me a check. $50,000, Alexander's personal contribution, before we'd even sent the first invitation. Now I'm standing in the private bathroom off the event space, staring at my reflection and barely recognizing myself. The dress Lauren insisted I borrow is emerald green silk, fitted through the bodice and flowing to mid-calf. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever worn, and definitely the most expensive thing that's ever touched my skin. You look stunning. Lauren appears behind me, adjusting her own dress, a deep burgundy that complements her dark coloring. That color is perfect on you. I feel like I'm playing dress-up. You're not. You're the woman who organized an event that's about to raise $250,000 for sick kids. She meets my eyes in the mirror. Own it. The ballroom looks exactly how I envisioned it. Round tables with cream linens and gold accents, centerpieces of white roses and candles, subtle lighting that makes everything glow warmly. The auction items are displayed along one wall, everything from vacation packages to signed sports memorabilia to a private dinner cooked by our head chef. Guests start arriving at 7. I greet them with practiced ease, directing them to registration, answering questions, making sure everyone feels welcomed and valued. By 7:30, the room buzzes with conversation and the gentle clink of champagne glasses. Alexander arrives exactly on time, wearing a tuxedo that makes my mouth go dry. He moves through the crowd with Franco, stopping to shake hands and exchange words with various guests. When his eyes find me across the room, something in his expression shifts. He says something to Franco and starts walking toward me. You've outdone yourself. His voice is low, meant only for me despite the crowd around us. This is exceptional. We haven't even started the program yet. I'm not talking about the logistics, though those are flawless. His gaze moves over my face, down to the dress, back up. You look beautiful. Heat rises to my cheeks. Lauren's dress. The dress is just fabric. You're what makes it beautiful. Before I can respond, the event coordinator signals that it's time to begin dinner service. I excuse myself, slipping into my role as the invisible hand making everything run smoothly. Between courses, I coordinate the silent auction closing, prep the auctioneer for the live portion, and ensure the slideshow of children who've benefited from cancer research is cued correctly. During the video presentation, I stand at the back of the room, watching faces as images of kids in hospital beds transition to kids in remission, thriving, living. I see Lily in every single one of them. My throat tightens. A warm hand touches the small of my back. Alexander stands beside me, his attention on the screen but his presence entirely focused on me. She's one of them, he says quietly. One of the success stories. 8 months and counting. My wife didn't get that chance. 6 months from diagnosis to gone. Pancreatic cancer doesn't leave much room for hope. It's the most he's ever said about Julia. I turn slightly to look at him, seeing grief etched in the lines around his eyes. I'm sorry. Don't be. Just keep celebrating that your daughter survived. Some of us need that reminder that it's possible. The live auction exceeds every projection. By the time the final item sells, we've raised over $200,000. People are standing, applauding, and I'm fighting back tears because this matters. This money will fund research that saves children like Lily. I'm collecting auction paperwork when a voice cuts through the post-event chatter. Well, this is quite the production. I turn to find an elderly woman watching me with sharp, intelligent eyes. She's small, maybe 5 feet tall, with silver hair styled elegantly and olive skin that speaks of Mediterranean heritage. Her dress is simple, but clearly expensive, and she wears her age like a badge of honor rather than something to hide. Can I help you? You're Megan, the one my grandson can't stop talking about. My heart skips. You're Alexander's grandmother? Nana Sophia. She takes my hand in both of hers, her skin paper thin, but her grip surprisingly strong. I flew in from Miami to see what all the fuss was about. Now I understand. I'm not sure what you mean. My Alessandro hasn't looked at a woman the way he looks at you since Julia died. 3 years of shutting everyone out, and then you appear with your daughter, and suddenly he's alive again. I don't know what to say to that. We've been carefully professional, maintaining boundaries even as the tension between us grows harder to ignore. Walk with me. Nona Sophia links her arm through mine. steering me toward the quieter side of the room. Tell me about your little girl. Alexander mentioned she's a cancer survivor. For the next 20 minutes, I find myself telling this stranger everything. About Lily's diagnosis, the brutal treatment, the financial devastation, the fear that consumed every moment. Nonna Sofia listens with the kind of attention that makes you feel truly heard. And your ex-husband? He left during this? The day after diagnosis. She makes a disgusted sound. Weak men run when times get hard. Strong men stay and fight. My Alessandro, he stayed, watched his wife waste away, held her hand through every horrible moment. That kind of grief. It changes you, makes you afraid to love again because losing someone hurts too much. We're not. It's not like that. He's my boss. He helped me when I needed it. Nonna Sofia's laugh is knowing. Keep telling yourself that, Bella. But I've lived 78 years and I know what I see. That man is falling for you, whether either of you wants to admit it yet. She pats my hand and walks away, leaving me standing there processing her words. Alexander is across the room talking with donors, but as if he feels my gaze, he looks up. Our eyes meet and hold, and I feel it. Whatever this is between us, it's not just gratitude or professional respect. The event ends after 11. Guests trickle out with promises to attend next year, and I supervise the breakdown with the venue staff. By midnight, only family remains. Franco and Lauren, Nonna Sofia, Alexander, and me. You should be proud, Franco says, pulling me into a hug. This was outstanding. We're already getting calls about booking events here because of tonight. Team effort. Your vision, your execution. Take the credit. He glances at Alexander. I'm taking my wife and daughter home. Nonna's staying at the house tonight if you want to drop her off on your way. Actually, I'd like Megan to join me for a nightcap, Nonna Sofia announces. If she's not too tired, I should be exhausted, but I'm wired with post-event adrenaline. I'd love that. Excellent. Alexander can drive us both. You do still have that lovely house in Connecticut, yes? Alexander's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Yes, Nonna. The drive takes 45 minutes. Nonna Sofia holds court from the back seat, asking me questions about event planning, about Lily, about my plans for future fundraisers. It feels less like interrogation and more like genuine interest, and I find myself relaxing into the conversation. The Connecticut house is beautiful in the darkness, all clean lines and large windows overlooking wooded property. Inside, it's surprisingly warm despite the modern architecture. Family photos cover one wall, and I recognize a younger Alexander with a stunning dark-haired woman who must be Julia. Nonna Sofia yawns elaborately. Actually, I'm more tired than I thought. Megan, darling, I'll see you at lunch tomorrow. You are coming to lunch, yes? I wasn't aware I was invited. You are now. Franco's house, 1 o'clock. Bring your daughter. Gianna will be thrilled. She kisses both my cheeks and heads upstairs, leaving me alone with Alexander. That was a setup, I say once she's gone. Definitely. He loosens his bow tie. The gesture somehow more intimate than it should be. Would you like that drink she mentioned? Or I can drive you home. A drink sounds good. He leads me to a sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a garden I can barely see in the moonlight. While he pours wine, I study the books on the shelves. Medical texts, Italian literature, biographies of historical figures. Your grandmother is formidable. She's terrifying and wonderful in equal measure. He hands me a glass of red wine, our fingers brushing in the exchange. She also has no filter and says exactly what she thinks. She told me you haven't looked at anyone the way you look at me since Julia. Alexander goes very still. She said that? Yes. I meet his eyes. Deciding honesty is easier than pretending. Is it true? He's quiet for a long moment, swirling wine in his glass. When he finally speaks, his voice is raw. Julia was my entire world. We met in Milan when I was 28, married 6 months later. She was brilliant and kind, and made me want to be better than I was. When she got sick, I watched her deteriorate day by day. Watched cancer steal her piece by piece until there was nothing left but pain, and then nothing at all. Alexander, I swore I'd never do that again. Never let someone matter that much. It's easier to be alone than to risk that kind of loss. He sets down his glass and steps closer. Then you walked into my life with your fierce love for your daughter and your refusal to give up no matter how hard things got. And suddenly I couldn't stay closed off anymore. My heart hammers against my ribs. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I just need you to know that what Nonna sees, it's real. I'm trying very hard to keep things professional because you work for me and because you've been through hell and don't need complications. But it's getting harder every day. I set my own glass down, my hands trembling slightly. What if I don't want you to keep things professional? The air between us charges with electricity. Alexander takes another step closer, close enough that I can smell his cologne, see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. Then we have a problem. Because once I stop maintaining distance, I won't be able to go back. I don't do anything halfway, Megan. If this becomes more than professional, it becomes everything. That's terrifying. It is. His hand comes up to cup my cheek, thumb brushing across my skin in a feather-light touch. Tell me to stop, and I will. Tell me this crosses a line, and we'll pretend this conversation never happened. I should tell him to stop. Should maintain the boundaries that keep my new life safe and uncomplicated. But standing here in the moonlight with his hand on my face and 3 years of grief and loneliness reflected in his eyes, I can't make myself say the words. Instead, I lean into his touch. He kisses me like he's been thinking about it for weeks. Soft at first, questioning, giving me room to pull away. When I don't, when I step closer and fist my hands in his shirt, he deepens the kiss with a hunger that steals my breath. We break apart, breathing hard, foreheads resting together. I should take you home, he says, voice rough. Probably. Neither of us moves. Tomorrow, I manage. Lunch at Franco's. We should probably figure out what this means before facing your family. Smart. He pulls back slightly, running a hand through his hair. But I'm not good at smart when it comes to you. The drive back to my apartment is quiet, charged with everything unspoken. When we arrive, Alexander walks me to my door like he did that first night when Ryan threatened me. But this time, when we reach my threshold, he pulls me close for one more kiss. Sleep well, Megan. You too. Inside, I lean against the closed door, touching my lips where I can still feel the pressure of his mouth on mine. Everything has changed. The careful professional distance we've maintained for 6 weeks just shattered, and I have no idea what comes next. My phone buzzes with a text from Lauren. Gianna is so excited Lily is coming to lunch tomorrow. Also, Nonna Sofia called me giggling about playing matchmaker. Should I be concerned? I laugh despite everything. Your grandmother-in-law is terrifying. But was she successful? I hesitate, then type honestly. Yes, finally. You two have been dancing around each other for weeks. About time someone pushed you together. See you at 1 tomorrow. Wear something comfortable. The girls will want to play outside. Saturday morning, Lily bounces around our apartment with infectious energy. We're going to Gianna's house. Can I wear my purple dress? Whatever you want, baby. She chatters the entire drive to Franco and Lauren's house in the suburbs. A beautiful colonial with a sprawling backyard perfect for children. Gianna meets us at the door, grabbing Lily's hand and dragging her toward the playroom before I can even say hello. Lauren laughs. Come on in. Fair warning, Nonna Sofia is in full Italian grandmother mode. She's been cooking since dawn and has opinions about everything. Inside, the house smells like garlic and tomatoes and fresh bread. Nonna Sofia commands the kitchen, directing Franco and Alexander as they chop vegetables and set the table. It's so domestic, so normal, that it makes my chest ache. There she is. Nonna Sofia pulls me into a hug that smells like rosemary and perfume. Bella, you look rested. Someone sleep well last night? Alexander catches my eye across the kitchen, and heat floods my face. The girls are in the playroom, Lauren says, rescuing me. Want to check on them? We find Lily and Gianna building an elaborate fort out of couch cushions and blankets. They're laughing, completely absorbed in their game, and seeing Lily this happy makes everything worth it. She's thriving, Lauren observes. The teachers at daycare say she's come out of her shell completely. She needed stability, friends her own age, a chance to just be a kid instead of a patient. You gave her that. You made hard choices and fought for her. That's real strength, Megan. Before lunch, Alexander suggests taking the girls to the park down the street. We walk there together, Lily and Gianna running ahead while we follow at a more sedate pace. About last night, Alexander starts. We don't have to analyze it to death. I need you to understand what you're getting into. My life, my family, it's complicated. There are aspects of my business that exist outside legal boundaries. I won't expose you to that directly, but being with me means accepting that it exists. I've suspected as much for weeks. The deference people show him, the way problems disappear with a phone call, the security that appears whenever needed. Alexander Pellegrini is more than a restaurant owner. Are you trying to scare me away? I'm trying to be honest. You deserve that. We reach the park, watching the girls race toward the swings. I appreciate honesty, and I'm not naive enough to think you're just a businessman. But I also know you've been nothing but kind to me and my daughter. You helped us when no one else would. That counts for something. It counts for everything. He takes my hand, lacing our fingers together. This isn't just physical attraction, Megan. I need you to know that. I know. We spend an hour at the park, pushing the girls on swings and helping them navigate the jungle gym. Alexander is patient with both children, catching Gianna when she jumps off the slide and helping Lily reach the monkey bars she's too short for alone. Watching him, I see the father he might have been if Julia had lived. If they'd had children together. Back at the house, lunch is a chaotic, wonderful affair. Homemade pasta, fresh bread, salad from Lauren's garden, and Nonna Sophia's famous tiramisu for dessert. The girls sit together, whispering and giggling. The adults talk over each other, arguing about soccer and politics and the best way to make marinara sauce. It feels like family. Real, messy, loud family. And I realize how much I've missed this, how isolated Lily and I have been. Just the two of us against the world. After lunch, Lily falls asleep on the couch, exhausted from playing. Alexander carries her out to my car with the same careful gentleness he showed at the park. Thank you for today, I say, buckling her into her car seat. She needed this. I needed this. It's not a one-time thing. You're part of this family now, both of you. He walks me to the driver's side. And about last night, I kiss him before he can finish the sentence. Quick, impulsive, not caring that his family is probably watching from the windows. When I pull back, he's staring at me with surprise and something warmer. Stop overthinking, I tell him. We're both adults. We can figure this out. That simple? Probably not. But standing here analyzing every complication won't make them disappear. So let's just see where this goes. His hand comes up to cup the back of my neck, pulling me in for another kiss. This one is slower, deeper, full of promise. Monday, he says when we finally separate. Dinner. Just us. A real date. I'd like that. I drive home with Lily sleeping in the back seat, and my lips still tingling from Alexander's kiss. My phone buzzes with a text from Lauren. Nonna Sophia is cackling and Franco owes me $20. We had bets on how long until you two stopped pretending you weren't into each other. I smile, typing back, glad I could help you win money. Seriously, though, I'm happy for both of you. Alexander deserves to be happy again. And you deserve someone who sees how amazing you are. That night, after Lily is in bed, I sit by her window and think about how much has changed in 6 weeks. A new job, a new home, new friends who feel like family. And now, maybe something more with a man who looked at my daughter in a grocery store and saw someone worth protecting. It's not simple. Nothing about Alexander Pellegrini is simple. But as I finally drift off to sleep, I find myself looking forward to Monday, to seeing where this impossible thing between us might lead. 3 weeks pass in a strange dance of proximity and distance. Alexander and I work together daily. Our interactions professional on the surface, but charged with everything unspoken. We haven't had that dinner date yet. Something always comes up. A crisis at the restaurant. Lily getting a cold. Meetings that run late. But the family doesn't seem to care about our careful boundaries. Franco invites me to Sunday dinners at his house with increasing regularity. Lauren texts me photos of Gianna and Lily at daycare. Even Nonna Sophia calls from Miami twice, asking pointed questions about when Alexander and I are going to stop being ridiculous and just admit we're together. "You're both adults," she says during her second call, exasperation clear even through the phone. Life is short. My Julia understood that better than anyone. She wouldn't want Alessandro to spend the rest of his life alone, grieving. It's complicated, Nonna. Love is always complicated. That doesn't mean you avoid it. She sighs. I'm flying back to Miami tomorrow, but I want you to know I approve. Of you, of this, of whatever you two are dancing around. My blessing, for what it's worth. It's worth a lot, thank you. Thursday afternoon, Lily has her scheduled checkup with her oncologist. I take the morning off, bringing her to the hospital where we spent so many terrifying months. The waiting room still makes my stomach clench. Muscle memory of fear I can't quite shake. Dr. Morrison greets us with her usual warm efficiency. How's my favorite patient? I'm good. I have a best friend named Gianna, and we play princess every day at school. Lily bounces in her chair. No trace of the sick child she used to be. The examination is thorough. Blood work, physical assessment, questions about symptoms or concerns. When Dr. Morrison finally looks up from her notes, she's smiling. Everything looks excellent. 2 years since treatment ended, all markers are exactly where we want them. If we continue seeing these results, we'll start spacing out appointments to every 6 months instead of every 3. Relief floods through me so intensely I have to grip the edge of the exam table. 6 months? She's doing beautifully, Megan. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I text Alexander the news before we even leave the parking lot. His response is immediate. That's wonderful. Celebrate with dinner tonight? My treat. Both of you. We meet him at a casual Italian place near my apartment. Not bellissimo, but somewhere warm and family-friendly. Lily chatters through the entire meal about daycare, and Gianna and the upcoming field trip to the aquarium. Alexander listens with genuine interest, asking questions, making her laugh. Watching them together, I feel something shift in my chest. This isn't just attraction anymore. It's deeper, more complicated, more terrifying. After dinner, as Alexander walks us to my car, he catches my hand. You're quiet. Just processing good news. It's been a while since we've had any. Get used to it. Things are changing. His thumb brushes across my knuckles. For the better. Friday night brings the corporate event I've been planning for weeks. A pharmaceutical company celebrating the launch of a new product. 200 guests, open bar, seated dinner. It's the biggest event I've managed solo. And everything needs to be perfect. By 9 o'clock, the evening is running smoothly. Dinner service is flawless, the speeches are well received, and guests are mingling happily with their drinks. I'm coordinating dessert service when one of the pharmaceutical executives approaches me, clearly intoxicated. You're the event planner? His words slur slightly, and he stands too close. You did a great job. Really great. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you're enjoying the evening. Such a beautiful woman. Your boyfriend is a lucky man. His hand lands on my arm, fingers pressing into my skin with uncomfortable pressure. I step back, maintaining my professional smile. If you'll excuse me, I need to check on dessert service. He follows me, persistent. Don't be like that. Just trying to give you a compliment. So serious. You should smile more. His hand reaches for my waist, and I dodge, moving behind a high-top table to create distance. Sir, I need to get back to work. One drink. Just one. Come on, don't be stuck up. Before I can respond, Alexander appears. I hadn't seen him enter the room, but suddenly he's there, inserting himself between me and the drunk executive with smooth precision. Is there a problem? His voice is calm, almost pleasant, but there's steel underneath. The executive tries to wave him off. No problem, just talking to the pretty lady. The pretty lady is working, and you're making her uncomfortable. Alexander's hand closes around the man's wrist, not roughly, but with unmistakable firmness. I think you need some air. Do you know who I am? My company just spent $50,000. I know exactly who you are, Mr. Patterson. And right now you're drunk and harassing my employee at an event you're meant to be enjoying professionally." Alexander's voice drops lower, and I see the executive's face pale. Whatever Alexander says next is too quiet for me to hear, but the effect is immediate. 2 security personnel materialize from somewhere, flanking the executive. They escort him out with practiced efficiency, and the other guests barely notice. But I noticed. I saw the controlled violence in Alexander's posture, the dangerous edge that emerged when he grabbed the man's wrist. This is the side of him I've only glimpsed before, the part that exists outside boardrooms and restaurant management. The rest of the event proceeds without incident, but I can't stop replaying that moment. The way Alexander shifted from restaurant owner to something else entirely. Something capable of real harm. After the last guest leaves and the cleanup crew takes over, Alexander finds me in my office. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine. I've dealt with drunk men before." "You shouldn't have to. Not here. Not anywhere." He leans against my desk, arms crossed. I spoke with his company. Mr. Patterson will be attending sensitivity training and issuing a formal apology. His employer was horrified. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." His eyes meet mine, dark and intense. "No one touches you without consequences. No one makes you uncomfortable in my establishment without answering for it." The possessiveness in his tone should probably bother me. Instead, it sends heat through my veins. "Alexander, we need to talk. Really talk. Not here. Somewhere private." We end up at his office on the top floor. The city spread out below us through floor-to-ceiling windows. He pours 2 glasses of wine, hands me one, and sits across from me with deliberate distance between us. "You saw something tonight," he begins. "Something that probably scared you. I saw you protect me. That's not scary. The way I did it should concern you, because it's a glimpse of what I really am, Megan. Not just a restaurant owner. Not just a businessman." I take a sip of wine, gathering my thoughts. "I've suspected for a while that your business interests extend beyond Bellissimo." "They do." He sets down his glass, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. "My family is involved in what you might call territorial protection. We mediate disputes that people can't or won't take to the legal system. We maintain order in communities where police are ineffective or corrupt. We control certain activities that exist whether we're involved or not, and our involvement makes them safer." "You're talking about organized crime." "I'm talking about pragmatic solutions to problems the legal system can't address." His expression is serious, unflinching. "Is everything we do legal?" "No." "Do I justify it by saying we help more people than we hurt?" "Yes. But I won't lie to you and pretend I'm just a legitimate businessman. That's not who I am." The honesty is jarring. Most people would dance around it, use euphemisms, maintain plausible deniability. Alexander is laying it out clearly, giving me the truth I need to make an informed decision. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because what's between us is getting serious. Because you deserve to know what you're getting into before we go any further. Because hiding it would be a betrayal, and I won't do that to you." I stand, moving to the window, processing. The city below looks peaceful from up here, orderly and safe, but I know that's an illusion. Underneath the surface, there's chaos and violence and people like Alexander who navigate it all. I need time to think about this. "Take all the time you need." He doesn't move to touch me, respects the space I've created. I'm not going anywhere. Tuesday evening. I'm leaving work late, going over final details for next week's event. The parking lot is mostly empty, just a handful of cars including mine. I'm halfway to my Honda when a familiar voice stops me. "Megan, been a while." Ryan steps out from between 2 cars, hands in his pockets, posture casual but eyes calculating. He's sober tonight, which somehow makes him more threatening than when he was drunk and pounding on my door. "You're violating the restraining order." "Again, am I? This is a public parking lot. I'm just standing here." His smile is cold. "You look good. New job treating you well." "What do you want, Ryan?" "Just checking in. Making sure you're happy with your choices. That new boyfriend of yours, the one with all the money and power, you really think that's going to work out well for you? Leave me alone." He takes a step closer, not threatening exactly, but invasive. "I'm worried about you, Megan. About Lily. You're getting involved with dangerous people. That Italian guy, his family, they're not what they seem. How would you know anything about Alexander? I have friends too. Friends who are interested in your situation. Who think maybe you don't understand what you're getting into. His expression hardens. You took my daughter away from me. You think I'm just going to let that go? Let you play house with some gangster and pretend I don't exist? Ice floods my veins. Lily is not your daughter anymore. You lost that right when you abandoned her. That can change. I've got a lawyer now. A good one. We're going to revisit that custody agreement. And when we do, the judge is going to hear all about how you're shacking up with a criminal, exposing our daughter to that environment. Get away from me. Or what? You'll call your boyfriend? Go ahead. But remember, Megan, I'm not doing anything illegal right now. Just talking to my ex-wife. That's allowed. He walks backward toward a car I don't recognize. Think about what's best for Lily. That's all I'm asking. He drives off, and I'm shaking so hard I can barely get my keys out. I call Alexander before I even get in my car. Ryan was here, in the parking lot. He knows about you, about us. He mentioned friends who are interested in my situation. He's threatening to go after custody again. Where are you now? Still in the parking lot. Stay there. I'm sending Victor to escort you home. Don't go anywhere alone tonight. His voice shifts, becomes harder. And Megan, I need you to tell me exactly what he said. Every word. By the time Victor arrives 10 minutes later, I've repeated Ryan's threats 3 times to Alexander, each retelling making the implications clearer. Ryan isn't working alone anymore. He's connected to something bigger, using information about me to leverage something against Alexander's family. That night, after Lily is asleep, Alexander comes to my apartment. He brings Franco with him, and the 2 brothers sit at my kitchen table with laptops and phones, making calls, pulling up information, coordinating with people whose names I don't recognize. Ryan Turner has been feeding information to a rival organization. Alexander finally tells me, his expression grim. The 'Ndrangheta. They're a Calabrian crime family trying to expand their territory in the city. They've been mapping our family's vulnerabilities, looking for weak points to exploit. And I'm a weak point. You're someone I care about. That makes you a target. He reaches across the table, taking my hand. This is what I was trying to explain the other night. Being with me means accepting that people will try to use you against me. That your safety requires constant vigilance. That normal life becomes complicated. Franco closes his laptop. We can protect you. We have resources, experience with this kind of threat. But it means increased security. Disruption to your routine, living with the awareness that people are watching. Or, Alexander continues, his voice careful, I can arrange for you and Lily to relocate. Different city, new identities if necessary, financial support to start over somewhere safe. Away from Ryan. Away from this threat. Away from me. The choice is laid out clearly. Stay and accept all the complications of Alexander's world, or leave with help to build a new life somewhere else. It should be an easy decision. Choose safety for my daughter. Walk away from the man who makes my life complicated. But as I look at Alexander's face, at the genuine concern there mixed with hope he's trying to hide, I realize it's not simple at all. These past weeks have shown me what life could be. Not just the material improvements, but the family I've found in Franco and Lauren, and even fierce Nonna Sofia. The way Lily has blossomed with Gianna as her friend. The feeling of being part of something larger than just myself and my daughter against the world. And Alexander himself, the way he looks at me like I'm worth protecting. The gentleness he shows Lily. The honesty he's offered even when lies would be easier. I'm staying, I hear myself say. We're staying. Lily and me. Whatever that means. Whatever complications come with it. I'm not running anymore. Alexander's hand tightens around mine. You understand what you're accepting? I understand that Ryan found me anyway. That running didn't keep me safe before, and won't keep me safe now. That the only way forward is to stop being afraid and start fighting back. I look between him and Franco. If this 'Ndrangheta wants to use me to get to you, then you need to make it clear that's not going to work. That I'm protected. That I'm part of this family. She's right, Franco says, respect clear in his voice. Half measures won't work here. They need to know she's off limits completely. Alexander studies my face for a long moment. Once we do this, there's no going back. You'll be marked as Pellegrini family. That protection comes with obligations, expectations, risks. I know, and I do. I'm choosing this with my eyes open, accepting all of it. The danger and the complications and the man who comes with both. Then we move forward together. Alexander stands, pulling me up with him. After Franco leaves, Alexander doesn't. We stand in my small kitchen, the weight of the decision hanging between us. I'm scared, I admit. Good. Fear keeps you careful. But I promise you, Megan, I will do everything in my power to keep you and Lily safe. You're mine to protect now. That's a promise I don't make lightly. The possessiveness should probably bother me. Instead, it feels like safety. Like finally having someone strong enough to stand between me and everything trying to hurt us. He kisses me goodbye at the door, slow and thorough, sealing this new agreement between us. When he finally pulls away, his forehead rests against mine. Sleep well. Tomorrow we start making arrangements. After he leaves, I check on Lily, watching her sleep peacefully in her bed, unaware of the dangerous choice I just made on her behalf. I've chosen Alexander's world, with all its complications and risks. I've chosen to stop running and start standing my ground. I just hope it's the right choice, for both of us. The changes happen fast. By Wednesday morning, a driver named Thomas is assigned to me and Lily full-time. He's professional, quiet, and always seems to know where we need to be before I tell him. A second man, Marcus, shadows us at a careful distance. I notice him at the daycare drop-off, in the Bellissimo parking lot, outside my apartment building. You'll get used to it, Lauren assures me over coffee in my office. I had the same adjustment period when Franco and I got serious. Having protection feels invasive at first, but eventually it becomes background noise. How long until it feels normal? Honestly, about 3 months. But the trade-off is worth it. You sleep better knowing professionals are watching for threats you'd never see coming. Alexander insists I learn basic security protocols. Tuesday evening after work, he takes me to a private gym in the Bellissimo building I didn't know existed. For 2 hours, he teaches me awareness techniques, how to spot someone following me, how to position myself in public spaces, basic self-defense moves. This isn't about making you paranoid, he explains, demonstrating how to break a wrist grip. It's about giving you tools so you feel confident instead of helpless. His hands are gentle as he guides my movements, patient when I mess up the sequence. But underneath the instruction, there's an intensity that reminds me this isn't theoretical. These are skills I might actually need. Thursday afternoon, I'm in the middle of finalizing seating arrangements for Saturday's wedding when my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Miss Collins. This is Principal Waverly from Bright Horizons Daycare. Her voice is carefully controlled, too calm. There's been an incident involving Lily. She's safe, but I need you to come immediately. My heart stops. What kind of incident? 2 men attempted to take her from the playground during outdoor time. Our security intervened. Police are here. Please come now. I don't remember grabbing my purse or running through the restaurant. Thomas has the car running before I reach the parking lot. Marcus already in the passenger seat speaking rapidly into his phone. The 15-minute drive takes 8 minutes, and every second feels like drowning. Alexander's voice comes through the car speakers, Thomas having connected the call through Bluetooth. Megan, listen to me. Lily is unharmed. My security team contained the situation. Victor was on site and stopped them before they got within 10 feet of her. Who were they? We're finding out. Franco is already at the school. When you arrive, go directly to the principal's office. Don't talk to police without our lawyer present. The daycare is surrounded by police cars and concerned parents. Thomas escorts me through the chaos directly to the administrative office, where I find Lily sitting in Franco's lap, her face buried in his shoulder. Gianna sits beside them, holding Lily's hand, her own face pale and tear-streaked. Mommy. Lily reaches for me, and I gather her close, checking her for injuries even though everyone said she's fine. She's shaking, her small body trembling against mine. You're okay, baby. You're safe now, Bad men tried to take me, but the guard man stopped them. He was really fast, Mommy, like a superhero. Lauren appears with a woman I don't recognize. This is Dr. Sarah Hayes, a child therapist. She specializes in trauma. Can she talk with the girls? I want to say no. Want to take Lily and run somewhere far away where men don't try to steal children from playgrounds. But I nod, knowing my daughter needs more than I can give her right now. Alexander arrives 20 minutes later with 2 men in suits who introduce themselves as the family's attorneys. They handle the police interviews while Alexander sits beside me, his hand wrapped around mine with crushing pressure. Victor identified them as Ndrangheta associates, he says quietly once we're alone. This was a message. They wanted me to know they could reach you, reach Lily, anytime they wanted. They tried to kidnap my daughter. My voice sounds hollow, detached. And they failed. But they'll try again. His jaw clenches. I have a property in Greenwich, Connecticut. Secure, private, with full security team. I want you and Lily there until we resolve this situation. For how long? However long it takes. That evening, I pack bags for both of us with numb efficiency. Lily clings to me, afraid to let me out of her sight. When Alexander arrives to drive us, she reaches for him without hesitation, and he lifts her gently. I've got you, Piccola. No one's going to hurt you. I promise. The Greenwich property is beautiful in the fading light, a modern house set back from the road behind high walls and iron gates. Inside, it's surprisingly warm despite the expensive furnishings. Family photos cover one wall, and there are toys in the living room that look recently placed. Gianna's here? Lily perks up slightly. She and her parents are staying for a few days, too. For safety. Alexander sets her down. Why don't you go find her? I think she's upstairs in the playroom. Lily runs off, and I finally let myself break. The tears come hard and fast, and suddenly Alexander's arms are around me, holding me while I sob against his chest. I almost lost her. If your guard hadn't been there, but he was there. She's safe. You're both safe. How is this my life? How did I go from worrying about paying bills to worrying about kidnapping attempts? His hand strokes my hair, steady and grounding. Because you chose to stop running, because you stood up to people who want to use fear as a weapon. That takes courage, Megan. Real courage. Franco and Lauren appear, and Lauren immediately pulls me into a hug. The girls are upstairs playing. Dr. Hayes is coming tomorrow to work with them. We'll get through this together. The house has 6 bedrooms. Lily and Gianna insist on sharing one, needing each other's company after the trauma of the day. Alexander puts me in the room next to theirs, with his own room across the hall. That night, I check on Lily a dozen times. Each time, I find her curled up next to Gianna, both girls sleeping fitfully. Around 2 a.m, I give up on sleep and go downstairs to the kitchen. Alexander is already there, standing by the window overlooking the dark garden. He's in sleep pants and a t-shirt, his hair mussed, looking more human than I've ever seen him. Can't sleep either? I ask, thinking about all the ways today could have gone worse. He turns to face me. I've dealt with threats my entire adult life. It's part of the world I chose. But watching you go through this, knowing I brought this danger to you and Lily, you didn't bring it. Ryan did. The Ndrangheta did. You're the one keeping us safe. Am I? Or am I the reason you need protection in the first place? I move closer, taking his hand. You're the reason Lily is alive and well cared for, instead of dealing with medical debt and an abusive father. You're the reason I have a job I love and friends who feel like family. Don't diminish that because of what happened today. He pulls me close, and we stand there in the quiet kitchen, holding each other. When he finally kisses me, it's different from before. Not heated or urgent, but tender. A promise of safety and solidarity. The days that follow establish a strange new normal. Dr. Hayes works with both girls, using play therapy to help them process what happened. Lily draws pictures of the superhero guard who saved her. Gianna talks about being brave like her Uncle Alexander. I work remotely, coordinating events from Alexander's home office while he handles restaurant business from the same space. It's intimate in unexpected ways, existing in the same room for hours, occasionally looking up to catch each other's eye. Franco and Lauren stay through the weekend before returning to the city for work, but they visit daily. The house fills with the sounds of family, children's laughter mixing with adult conversation, meals shared around the large dining table. 5 nights into our stay, I wake from a nightmare screaming. In the dream, I couldn't reach Lily, couldn't stop the men from taking her. Alexander is in my room before I fully wake, sitting on the edge of my bed, pulling me against his chest. She's safe. Right next door, sleeping peacefully with Gianna. She's safe. I cling to him, unable to stop shaking. I keep seeing it. What could have happened? What they wanted to do. I know. I had the same nightmares after Julia died, replaying every moment, wondering if I could have done something different. His hand strokes my back in slow, soothing circles. But you can't live in the what-ifs. You have to focus on what is. Lily is alive and safe. You're both here, protected. That's what matters. I'm so tired of being scared. Then let me carry that fear for a while. That's what I'm here for. We talk for hours in the darkness, about loss and fear, and the weight of protecting people we love. Alexander tells me about Julia's last days, how helpless he felt watching her fade. I tell him about the moment the doctor said Lily had cancer, how the world tilted and never quite righted itself. You understand, I whisper, what it's like to be terrified of losing someone. Better than I wish I did. He tucks a strand of hair behind my ear, but I also understand what it's like to find someone worth fighting for again, worth risking the fear of loss. The kiss happens naturally this time. No questioning, no hesitation. Just 2 people who've been circling each other for months, finally admitting what's been building between us. When we finally separate, breathless, he rests his forehead against mine. Tell me to leave and I will. Tell me this is too much, too fast, and I'll go back to my room and we'll pretend this didn't happen. Don't leave. He stays, holding me until I fall back asleep. I wake to find him gone, but can hear him downstairs making breakfast with the girls, their voices drifting up through the house. Over the next few days, whatever walls remained between us crumble completely. We fall into an easy rhythm, moving around each other in the kitchen, coordinating childcare and work schedules, stealing moments alone when the girls are occupied. Lily notices first, catching Alexander's hand on my back as he passes me in the hallway. Are you Mommy's boyfriend now? Alexander crouches to her level, taking the question seriously. Would that be okay with you? She considers it gravely. Will you still help us if you're the boyfriend? Always. Being your mommy's boyfriend doesn't change that I care about you too. You're both important to me. Okay, but you have to ask her on a proper date. That's what they do in movies. He laughs, glancing up at me. I'll work on that. That evening, after both girls are asleep, Alexander and I sit in the living room with wine and the comfortable silence of people who've stopped pretending. A week ago, you were my employee who I was carefully keeping at arm's length, he muses. Now you're living in my house and my daughter's questioning me about relationship protocols. She's not your daughter, isn't she? She calls me Alex, runs to me when she's scared, trusts me to keep her safe. His eyes meet mine. I know I'm not her father, but I'd like to be someone important in her life. If you'll let me. You already are. I set down my wine glass. This isn't what I expected when you offered to pay for my groceries in a supermarket. No? He pulls me closer. What did you expect? I don't know. A one-time kindness from a stranger. Not this. Not family and protection and falling for someone who terrifies and comforts me in equal measure. If it helps, you terrify me too. The thought of losing you, of losing Lily. It's the first time I've felt that kind of fear since Julia died. I swore I'd never let myself be that vulnerable again. And yet here we are. Here we are. He kisses me slowly, thoroughly, and when we finally separate, I feel something settle in my chest. This strange, complicated life we're building together. It's not what I imagined, but it's real and solid and worth fighting for. Later that night, lying in bed unable to sleep, I think about all the choices that led here. Accepting Alexander's help, taking the job, moving to a safer apartment, choosing to stay instead of run. Each decision felt terrifying at the time, but each one brought me closer to this moment. My phone buzzes with a text from Alexander. even though he's just across the hall. Can't sleep either? Too much thinking. Come here. I slip out of bed, padding across the hall to his room. He's sitting up reading, and when I appear in the doorway, he sets the book aside and opens his arms. I climb into bed beside him, fitting against his side like I belong there. Better? He asks. Much better. We fall asleep like that, wrapped around each other, and for the first time since the attempted kidnapping, I don't have nightmares. Instead, I dream of safety and family and a future that might actually include both. The planning happens in Alexander's home office, behind closed doors that I'm allowed through. Franco, Alexander, and 3 men I don't recognize spread maps and documents across the massive desk. I sit in the corner with my laptop, ostensibly working on next month's event calendar, but really listening to every word. The Moretti family controls the ports, one of the men says, pointing to a section of the map. If we offer them the pharmaceutical distribution territory the Ndrangheta has been trying to take, they'll back our play. Alexander leans back in his chair, fingers steepled under his chin. And the Russos? They want assurance we're not expanding into their prostitution operations. Give them that in writing, they'll stay neutral. Neutrality isn't good enough. I need active support. Franco interjects. Offer them the waste management contracts. It's cleaner money, easier to legitimize. They've been wanting to move into more legal operations anyway. I watch Alexander process this information, seeing the calculated strategy behind every decision. This isn't violence or intimidation. It's chess played with territories and alliances, isolating the Ndrangheta economically and politically until they have no choice but to retreat. What about Ryan Turner? I ask, surprising myself by speaking up. All eyes turn to me. Alexander's expression softens slightly. Our legal team has been documenting everything. The restraining order violations, the conspiracy to kidnap, fraud in the custody proceedings. We have testimony from the men Victor stopped at the daycare. They're willing to identify Ryan as the one who hired them in exchange for reduced sentences. Will it hold up in court? It will, one of the lawyers confirms. We've been careful to ensure all evidence is admissible. No illegal surveillance, no coerced testimony. Everything by the book where it counts. Where it counts. The implication being that other aspects of this operation won't be by the book at all. Alexander stands, walking to where I sit. You don't have to be here for this part. The specifics of how we pressure the other families, how we leverage our resources, you don't need those details. I want to understand. If I'm choosing this life, I need to know what that means. Pride flickers across his face. All right. Stay. For the next 2 hours, I listen to them plan. How they'll cut off the Ndrangheta's supply chains by controlling ports and distribution networks. How they'll freeze their legitimate business fronts through coordinated legal pressure. How they'll offer other families incentives to abandon their alliance with the Calabrian organization. It's sophisticated, multi-layered, and completely outside any legal framework I've ever known. But it's also not violent. No one talks about killing or hurting anyone. This is economic warfare, political maneuvering, the kind of power play that exists in boardrooms and backrooms across the world. The only difference is that Alexander's world doesn't pretend to be legitimate. That night, Alexander finds me in the kitchen after everyone has left. I'm making tea, hands shaking slightly with adrenaline from everything I've learned. Second thoughts? He asks quietly. 1,000 of them. But I'm still here. He wraps his arms around me from behind, chin resting on my shoulder. The operation begins tomorrow night. I need you and Lily to stay here with Franco and Lauren. Victor and 6 others will be on the property. You'll be completely safe. What about you? I'll be coordinating from various locations, meeting with the family heads, making sure everyone follows through on their agreements. It's not dangerous for me. I'm too valuable as a negotiator to be a target. You're lying to make me feel better. His laugh is soft against my ear. A little. But I've done this before, Megan. Many times. I know how to stay safe. The next evening, the house feels like it's holding its breath. Franco tries to maintain normalcy, playing with the girls in the living room. Lauren cooks dinner, but no one eats much. I check my phone obsessively, waiting for updates that don't come. Alexander texts at 9. First meeting complete. Everyone on board. At 11. Ndrangheta leadership has been contacted, presenting offer. At 1 a.m, nothing. The silence is worse than bad news. Lauren sits beside me on the couch, both of us pretending to watch a movie neither is paying attention to. The waiting is always the hardest part, but Alexander knows what he's doing. He's gotten Franco through situations worse than this. How do you live with it? The constant worry. You learn to trust them. And you learn to be strong enough to handle whatever comes. She squeezes my hand. You're already stronger than you think. At 3:15, headlights sweep through the windows. My heart stops until I see Alexander climb out of the car, Victor beside him. He's exhausted, his suit jacket gone, tie loosened, but he's whole and unharmed. I meet him at the door, and he pulls me into a tight embrace. It's done. They agreed to our terms. Ndrangheta pulls out of our territory, accepts restrictions on their northeastern operations, in exchange for concessions in Philadelphia and parts of New Jersey. Ryan Turner is being arrested as we speak. It's really over. This part is. He pulls back to look at me. The legal proceedings will take weeks, but the immediate threat is neutralized. Franco appears with 2 glasses of scotch, handing one to Alexander. The Russos want a meeting next month to finalize the waste management contracts. Schedule it. Alexander drinks deeply, then sets the glass down. Right now, I need sleep. We all do. The following days unfold in a strange combination of normalcy and surreal legal maneuvering. Alexander's lawyers coordinate with the district attorney's office. Evidence is presented, charges filed. Ryan is denied bail as a flight risk and for violating a restraining order during an attempted kidnapping conspiracy. I'm called to give a deposition, recounting every incident of abuse, every threat, every violation. Alexander's lawyer sits beside me through all of it, ensuring no one asks inappropriate questions or tries to intimidate me. 2 weeks later, Ryan's public defender approaches with a plea deal. He'll plead guilty to all charges in exchange for a slightly reduced sentence. 6 years in a state prison, with permanent termination of parental rights. He wants to avoid trial. Alexander's lawyer explains in her office. He knows we have him on everything. The attempted kidnapping alone carries serious time, and the violation of the restraining order adds to it. This way, he gets a somewhat reduced sentence and doesn't have to face a jury. Will he really serve 6 years? With good behavior, maybe 4.5. But the parental rights termination is permanent and immediate. He'll never have legal claim to Lily again. I sign the papers agreeing to the plea deal. My hand surprisingly steady. 6 years isn't enough for what he tried to do, but it's closure. It's safety. It's the ability to move forward without constantly looking over my shoulder. The day Ryan is sentenced, I don't attend the hearing. Instead, I take Lily to the park with Gianna, watching them play on the swings in the autumn sunshine. My phone buzzes with a text from Alexander. It's official. 6 years. No parole eligibility for 4. Parental rights terminated. You're free. I read the message 3 times, letting it sink in. Free. After years of fear and control and constant vigilance, I'm actually free. That evening, after the girls are in bed, Alexander and I sit in the Greenwich House's living room with wine and the weight of everything that's happened. I need you to understand what happened here, he begins, his tone serious. Ryan is in prison because we gathered evidence and presented it legally. But the reason the Ndrangheta backed down wasn't legal. It was because I leveraged power and influence to isolate them, to make staying in conflict more expensive than retreating. I know. Do you? Because I need you to really grasp what that means. I solved this problem the way I solve most problems, through a combination of legitimate channels and decidedly illegitimate pressure. That's who I am, Megan. That's what being with me means. I set down my wine glass, meeting his eyes directly. I watched you plan that operation. I saw how you negotiated, how you maneuvered other families into supporting your position. I understand that you exist in a world where legal and illegal blur together, where power is currency and influence is protection. And you can accept that? I don't love it. I won't pretend I'm completely comfortable with all of it, but I also can't ignore that your world, your power, your influence, those things saved my daughter, kept her safe when the legal system failed us repeatedly. I move closer to him. You're not perfect. Your methods aren't always clean. But you're honest about what you are, and you've never lied to me about the complications that come with this life. His hand comes up to cup my face. This isn't a fairy tale. I can't promise things will be simple or easy. My world will always have dangers, will always have complications. There will be more situations like this, more threats, more difficult choices. I know. And I'm choosing it anyway. Choosing you. Choosing this family. Choosing to stop running and start building something real. I lean into his touch. But I need you to promise me something. Anything. Keep being honest with me. Don't hide the dangers to protect me. Let me be your partner in this, not just someone you shield from reality. I'm stronger than I look. I know you are. You've proven that a dozen times over. He pulls me close, and we sit there in the quiet house, holding each other. I love you, Megan. I don't say that lightly. After Julia, I didn't think I'd say it again. But you've changed that. I love you too, which terrifies me almost as much as your world does. His laugh is soft. Fair enough. We talk late into the night about what comes next. Moving back to the city, returning to normal routines, building a life that acknowledges both the legitimate and complicated aspects of Alexander's world. It's not the clean, simple future I imagined when I was younger, but it's real, and it's ours. The next morning, Lily climbs into bed between us, chattering about a dream she had where she and Gianna were princesses who saved a kingdom. Alexander listens with complete attention, asking questions, making her laugh. Watching them together, I see the future taking shape. Not perfect, not simple, but full of love and loyalty and fierce protection. Later, while the girls play outside under Victor's watchful eye, Franco and Lauren come by for brunch. We sit around the dining table, coffee and pastries spread between us, and it feels like family. Real, complicated, unconventional family. So when are you two going to stop pretending this is casual and just move in together officially? Lauren asks, direct as always. I nearly choke on my coffee. Alexander just smiles. We're taking things at our own pace. Your pace is glacial. You're in love with each other. You're already living together half the time. Lily calls him Alex. Just make it official. Lauren, Franco warns, but he's grinning. What? Someone has to say it. Life's too short for unnecessary complications. Alexander looks at me across the table, a question in his eyes. I nod slightly, and he turns back to Lauren. Fine, we'll make it official. Megan and Lily will move into my place in the city. Happy? Ecstatic. When? Give us a month to coordinate logistics. Lily's settled at daycare. Megan's got events scheduled. We'll plan the move around those. It's decided just like that, our lives merging with casual efficiency over brunch. Later, after Franco and Lauren leave, I find myself standing at the windows overlooking the garden, processing how much has changed in just a few months. Alexander joins me, arms wrapping around my waist. Having regrets about the brunch announcement? No. Surprisingly, no. A few months ago, I was drowning in debt and fear. Now I'm planning to move in with a man who operates in the gray areas between legal and illegal, and I'm okay with it. That should probably concern me more than it does. But it doesn't? Not anymore. I've spent too much time being scared, making choices based on fear. This choice, this life with you, it's based on something else. Love, trust, partnership. That feels worth the complications. He turns me to face him. I will spend every day trying to be worthy of that trust. I know you will. We kiss there by the windows, the autumn sun warming our faces, and I feel something settle in my chest. This is my life now, not the one I planned, not the safe, simple existence I thought I wanted. But it's real and honest and mine. That night, tucked into Alexander's bed with his arms around me, I think about all the choices that led here, some made from desperation, some from hope, all leading to this moment. Ryan is in prison. The Ndrangheta has retreated. Lily is safe and thriving. And I'm building a future with a man who showed me that strength sometimes looks like accepting help, that love can exist in complicated spaces, and that family isn't always neat and conventional. Outside, Victor maintains his watch. Inside, Lily sleeps peacefully down the hall. Beside me, Alexander's breathing evens out into sleep, and for the first time in years, I feel truly safe. Not because all the dangers are gone, but because I've stopped facing them alone. 8 months have passed since Ryan's sentencing, and life has settled into something I never quite expected. Not the fairy tale ending I imagined as a young woman, but something more solid, more real. Alexander and I officially moved in together 3 months ago, combining households in his spacious apartment in the city. Lily transitioned seamlessly, already spending so much time here that the move felt natural rather than disruptive. This morning, I waked to the sound of Alexander making coffee in the kitchen, Lily's laughter mixing with his deeper voice. They're planning something, conspiring over breakfast, and I take a moment to simply listen before joining them. "Morning," I say, padding into the kitchen in my pajamas. Lily is perched on a stool at the island, still in her purple nightgown, eating pancakes that Alexander has shaped into lopsided hearts. "Mommy, Alex made special pancakes. Look." She points at her plate with syrup-sticky fingers. I see that. Very fancy. I accept the coffee Alexander hands me, his kiss landing on my temple in an easy gesture of affection. "Gianna's birthday party is Saturday," Lily announces. "Can we go shopping for a present today after school? We'll see." I have a meeting this afternoon about the December events. My role at Bellissimo has expanded significantly. I now manage a team of 3 coordinators, overseeing all private events, corporate functions, and special occasions. The restaurant hosts high-profile clients regularly, and last month we catered a fundraiser that brought in over $500,000 for literacy programs. It's demanding work, but I love every challenging minute of it. My phone buzzes with a text from Lauren. "Family dinner tonight?" Franco's grilling. I show the message to Alexander, who nods. "Tell her we'll be there." Thursday has become our standing family dinner night. Sometimes at Franco and Lauren's house in the suburbs, sometimes here, occasionally at the Greenwich property when we all need to escape the city. It's routine now, comfortable and expected. These weekly gatherings where Lily and Gianna dominate the conversation, and the adults trade stories about work and life. At the restaurant, my morning is consumed by logistics. A tech company wants to host their annual gala here in February. 200 guests, multiple dietary restrictions, specific branding requirements. I coordinate with the kitchen staff, design preliminary floor plans, calculate costs. Franco stops by my office mid-morning with coffee and questions about next week's wedding. "The bride is nervous about the cake," he says, settling into the chair across from my desk. "Third call this week. I'll reach out to her directly. Sometimes they just need reassurance." I make a note. "How's the new sommelier working out?" "Brilliant." Alexander's instincts were right about him. We discuss business for another 20 minutes, and I'm struck by how natural this has become. Working alongside Alexander's family, being trusted with significant responsibilities, contributing to something larger than just a paycheck. I've proven myself not because of my relationship with Alexander, but through consistent competence and dedication. That afternoon, I make my monthly payment on the medical debt. $52,000 remaining, down from the original $147,000. At $2,000 per month, I'll be free of it in just over 2 years. The number that once felt crushing now feels manageable, a finish line I can actually see. Lily's quarterly oncology appointment was last week. Dr. Morrison pronounced her results excellent. 2 full years in remission with all markers exactly where they should be. "She's thriving," the doctor said, reviewing the charts. "Whatever you're doing, it's working. What we're doing is living. Really living. Not just surviving." Lily attends an excellent school where she and Gianna are inseparable. They have play dates and sleepovers, participate in the school play, argue over toys, and make up 5 minutes later. Normal childhood things that seemed impossible 2 years ago. She calls Alexander Papa now, has for months. It happened gradually, naturally, until one day she just started using the word without prompting. He never asked her to, never pushed for that designation. But I see what it means to him every time she says it. The way his expression softens, the care he takes with every interaction, the genuine love that's developed between them. I pick Lily up from school at 3, and we stop at a toy store to find the perfect present for Gianna. Lily deliberates seriously between art supplies and a science kit, finally choosing both because Gianna likes everything. That's very generous of you, I tell her as we drive home. But it's a lot of money. I have birthday money saved, and Papa said I could use his card if I needed more. She says it so casually, this blending of our lives and resources. Did he now? He said Gianna is family, and we take care of family. That's become our guiding principle. Family. Not just Franco and Lauren and Gianna, but the wider network of the Pellegrini organization. I've met cousins and associates, attended weddings and christenings, learned the intricate web of relationships and obligations that bind this world together. Nonna Sofia visited 3 times since moving back to Miami, each visit lasting a week or more. She's made her opinions on marriage abundantly clear during her weekly phone calls, offering increasingly less subtle hints that Alexander should propose already. You're not getting younger, she told me during last Sunday's call. And that man loves you. What's he waiting for? A sign from God? We're happy as we are, Nonna. Happy is good. Married is better. More permanent. I've learned to navigate the complexities of Alexander's world with increasing confidence. I know when to leave the room during certain phone calls, recognize the signs that business matters are being discussed that I shouldn't overhear. I've built friendships with other women in similar situations, comparing notes on how to maintain normalcy, while partnered with men who exist in morally ambiguous spaces. It's not the life I imagined at 20, fresh out of college with dreams of conventional happiness. But at 29, I understand that real life rarely follows imagined scripts. What I have is messy and complicated and built on foundations that aren't entirely legal. It's also loving and loyal and more honest than many conventional relationships I've witnessed. That evening, we gather at Franco and Lauren's for dinner. The girls disappear immediately to play, their voices echoing from upstairs. The adults congregate in the kitchen, Franco managing the grill while Lauren assembles salads and I set the table. How's the new event coordinator working out? Lauren asks, chopping vegetables with practiced efficiency. Really well. She's handling the smaller corporate events, which frees me up for the more complex planning. I arrange plates and silverware. We're actually ahead of schedule for next quarter. You've built something impressive there, Franco says, flipping steaks. The event department's revenue has tripled since you took over. Team effort. Your vision, your execution, Alexander corrects, appearing with wine glasses. Take the credit you've earned. Dinner is loud and chaotic in the best way. Lily and Gianna talk over each other, telling stories from school. Franco and Alexander debate soccer teams. Lauren and I exchange knowing looks across the table. The camaraderie of women who've chosen complicated men and found peace with that choice. After dinner, after helping clean up, after the girls have worn themselves out and fallen asleep in the car on the drive home, Alexander and I carry Lily to bed together. We move in practiced synchronization, removing her shoes, tucking her under blankets, leaving the door cracked just how she likes it. Back in the kitchen, Alexander pulls ingredients from the refrigerator. Hungry? Always after family dinners. Lauren's portions are normal-sized, which means I leave wanting more. He laughs, starting to assemble pasta ingredients. I join him, chopping garlic while he boils water, our movements coordinated from months of these domestic evenings. Nonna called me today, he mentions casually, asking again when I'm going to stop being ridiculous and make an honest woman of you. She uses the same line on me every Sunday. She's persistent. He slides past me to reach the olive oil, his hand briefly touching my waist. But she might have a point. I look up from the cutting board, meeting his eyes. Alexander, not now, just thinking out loud. But there's something in his expression. A decision he's already made, and is waiting for the right moment to share. We eat pasta at the kitchen counter, talking about work, and Lily's upcoming school concert, and whether we should spend next weekend in Greenwich, or stay in the city. Normal couple conversations about mundane logistics, the foundation of real partnership. Later, after we've cleaned up, we settle on the couch with wine and comfortable silence. I review event proposals on my tablet while Alexander reads reports on his phone. Lily appears in the doorway around 9, dragging her favorite blanket. Can't sleep, she announces, climbing onto the couch between us. Bad dream? I ask, wrapping an arm around her. No, just want to be with you guys. Alexander sets aside his phone, making room for her to curl up against his side. Within minutes, she's asleep again, breathing deep and even. She does this at least twice a week. I observe quietly. She's making sure we're still here, that this is real. He strokes her hair gently. Can't blame her. After everything she's been through, stability must feel fragile. Does it to you? Feel fragile? Not anymore. His hand finds mine across Lily's sleeping form. It did at first. After Julia, I thought anything good was temporary, something that would be taken away. But this, us, it feels solid, built to last. We sit there in the dim living room, Lily sleeping peacefully between us, and I feel the same solidity he describes. This life we've constructed from impossible circumstances, from desperate choices and risky trust, has become real and permanent. Megan, Alexander's voice is quiet, but serious enough to make me look up. I have something for you. He shifts carefully, not wanting to disturb Lily, and pulls a small box from his pocket. My heart stutters as he opens it, revealing a ring that catches the lamplight. Not ostentatiously large, but beautiful, a single stone set in a delicate band. I'm not good at speeches, he begins. I've spent months trying to find the right words, the perfect moment. But there isn't a perfect moment. There's just us, here, with your daughter asleep between us after a normal Thursday. And that's more perfect than any grand gesture I could plan. Tears prick my eyes. You changed my life, Megan. You and Lily both. You made me remember what it feels like to have a family, to have someone worth protecting, worth building a future with. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. I know I'm not easy. I know my world is complicated and sometimes dangerous. I know I can't promise you a simple, conventional life, but I can promise honesty. I can promise to put you and Lily first. Always. I can promise to love you with everything I have. Alexander, marry me. Not because it's expected or because Nonna won't stop asking. Marry me because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Because I want Lily to be my daughter legally as well as in my heart. Because what we have is real and worth making permanent. I look at this man who saved us when we were drowning, who showed me that strength sometimes means accepting help, who loves my daughter like his own. I think about the life we've built, imperfect and complicated but deeply, genuinely happy. Yes, the word comes easily, without hesitation. Yes, I'll marry you. He slides the ring onto my finger, and it fits perfectly. Of course it does. Alexander plans everything carefully, pays attention to details most people miss. I love you, I tell him, meaning it in all the complicated ways that love exists in real life. Not the simple fairy tale version, but the messy, difficult, beautiful reality of choosing someone every day despite the challenges. I love you too. He leans across Lily to kiss me, gentle and full of promise. Lily stirs between us, mumbling something in her sleep. We adjust positions, settling back into comfortable proximity. Newly engaged, but nothing fundamentally changed. We were already committed, already building a life together. The ring is just a formalization of what already existed. Later, after carrying Lily back to her bed for the second time, Alexander and I lie in our own bed in the darkness. No regrets? He asks quietly. About saying yes? No. About everything that led here? Still no. I turn to face him. This isn't the life I imagined when I was 20. It's better. More real. Built on honest foundations instead of fantasies about how things should be. We did this together. Made something good out of impossible circumstances. We did. We fall asleep like that, tangled together. And I dream not of what might have been, but of what is. A life built consciously, deliberately, with eyes wide open to both the beauty and the complications. A family assembled from broken pieces that somehow fit together perfectly. This is my life now. Event planner for a restaurant with ties to organized crime. Partner to a man who operates in moral gray areas. Mother to a daughter who survived cancer and calls a mafia boss papa. It's complicated and unconventional and occasionally terrifying. It's also filled with love and loyalty and fierce protection. It's Sunday dinners and school concerts and quiet Thursday evenings. It's hard-won safety and deliberately chosen happiness. And standing here in this complicated, beautiful life, I wouldn't change a single choice that brought me here. The end.